Hi y'all, welcome to Richard's Kitchen. Tonight, got a real treat for you. I'm going to show you how to make a real delicious and healthy dish. I'm going to show you how to make a lemon crusted wild salmon with a red wine shallot sauce, and we're also going to have some roasted garlic parmesan green beans. So it's real good, and of course going to have some beer while we do this. Pardon me while I take me a sip. So let's get started. Let's go over the ingredients. Okay, what we're going to need, of course, is some salmon. That is a nice piece of salmon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that down to portion size. I'm not going to cook this whole piece of salmon. And of course, we got some fresh green beans that I'll be cutting off the ends too. Things we're going to need to make this work is we're going to need some red wine, some breadcrumbs, some red pepper flakes, salt and pepper, of course, some extra virgin olive oil, some balsamic vinegar, a lemon, some fresh thyme sprigs, real butter, a shallot, some fresh garlic, fresh Reggiano Parmesan cheese, some fresh Italian flat parsley, and let's get this started. Let me get this thing starting to prepare. Okay, let's start with our green beans. We're going to cut off the ends to these fresh green beans. I've already washed and rinsed them, and you can just line these little babies up best you can, and we'll cut the ends off of these things. I've got the oven preheating to 425, and what we'll end up doing is we're going to cook these green beans for about 14-15 minutes. Okay, we've got our green beans ends cut off, and we're going to line this cookie sheet up with these fresh green beans. I use foil because it just makes it a little easier to clean up. Okay, our oven is telling me that I'm preheated to 425, but we're going to hold off just a second. I've got this prepared, ready to go into the oven. So let's go on to the salmon and get this prepared. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of olive oil, rub it in there, and then take some of these breadcrumbs. This is the way my daughter likes it. In fact, I think this is the only way she'll eat salmon. And it's real good. It's real easy to do. Salmon's a real good fish for you. A lot of omega-3s in it. You can't really get too much of it. Hit it with a little salt, a little pepper, and like I said, I've got that olive oil on there just to give it a little bit of coating. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these breadcrumbs. That's going to give us our crust. When we put this on a hot skillet, that's really going to give us a good crust. Just kind of pack it in there a little bit. And this is a skin on, and I'll show you what to do with that. A lot of people don't like to eat their salmon with skin on, but I tell you what, you know, if you get it crusted up right, a lot of nutrients in there. You just pack this breadcrumbs in there, and we'll start heating our skillets. Okay, let's get this skillet heated to a little bit more, not a little less than medium high for this salmon. It's going to take these green beans about 15 minutes to cook. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and throw those in there for about 15 minutes while we prepare our salmon. Now, while I'm waiting on my skillet to come to temperature, I'm going to take this flat Italian parsley and cut it up real fine, because I'm going to be putting a little bit of this on top of that salmon and those green beans when we're finished. Just get it up as fine as you can. Try not to cut yourself. I've done it plenty of times. My daughter makes fun of me all the time. In fact, she tells me I shouldn't even hold a knife. We've got some fresh thyme sprigs here. We'll fold this up, and we're just going to cut this up. All right, we're waiting on our skillet to go. We got our green beans in there, and we'll get to the sauce. I'll do the sauce last because that's what we're going to pour over our fish. Okay, once our skillet starts to smoke, I'm going to hit it with a little olive oil. We're going to take our salmon and put the skin side up. And we're going to cook that for about 4 minutes until it starts to brown. And then we'll throw some butter, a little bit more olive oil in there. And I'll show you a little trick of what to do with the oil and butter. It really gives this fish a golden finish. Just kind of press it down. It's not going to burn you. Just kind of press that fish down there and let it cook. The thing about salmon, a lot of people don't really know, or they're scared to cook fish. Once you put it in the skillet, leave it alone. Don't go turning it every minute like you do a steak. Just leave it alone and let it do its, let the skillet do its thing. Man, I tell you, this is so good. I promise you this is good. Okay, we flipped our fish. Look at that golden brown color right there. Now, the way you know your salmon is done, you can just look at it. You can just see once that opaque pink starts coming in there, we'll reduce our heat to cook our skin side down. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add some butter to this. A little bit more olive oil. Olive oil will keep the butter from burning. And what we'll do is we'll tilt this and just baste this fish. Just keep basting it. That's going to give it even more of a brown, golden color, and it gives it so much taste. Look at that. Look at that golden brown color we got on there, that whipped butter. Whoo, Lord. It smells so good, I wish y'all could smell this. So we'll leave it on here about 1 more minute to cook that skin side down. Now, you can eat it with the skin or you can take it off. But once this thing is cooked, when you cut into this, it'll come right off that skin. Look at that golden brown color on that fish right there. Just keep basting that hot oil and that butter on there, and it'll just make it even more brown. Look at that. Man, ain't that pretty. Y'all know I'm about pretty. All right. Our beans are just about done. Our fish is just about done. And we'll take the fish off and we'll let it rest. I'll put it in a little piece of aluminum foil. Man, look at that. I can't wait to eat that. Look at that color on this fish. Look at that. Ain't that pretty? Oh my goodness gracious sakes. Okay. We'll take our fish off, finish our beans, and then we'll do our sauce. Okay, our fish is resting. Our beans are just about done. We've got a hot skillet. I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil in there. Then we're going to take our shallots. I've chopped them up. I minced them really good. I'm going to put that in that hot skillet. I'm going to put some minced garlic in there. Some thyme. Not all your thyme. But what you want to do is you want to kind of drizzle your thyme over your fish. Then we'll just let those onions cook down just a little bit. These shallot onions, you know, don't let anybody ever tell you you can use any kind of onion to make this red wine sauce, because you can't. These shallot onions are so mild, you don't even make your eyes water when you're cooking these. So when you're making this red wine sauce, bring it to a bubble. And when you do that, when it starts to bubble, as you can see it's starting to bubble, I'm going to hit it with just a squirt of balsamic vinegar. Give it a little taste. Stir that up. Ooh, that smells good. Let those flavors marry. Then, this is a trick I do. A lot of people don't do this. I do this. When I add the red wine, I always take it off the fire, because you just might get a flashback if you don't. So, with this red wine reduction sauce, what you want to do is let it cook down to about 2 tablespoons, depending on how many people you're serving. And you bring this to a boil. And you'll see this starting to boil. It's already shimmering on the top. Man, this is so good. Got that thyme in there, that garlic, those shallot onions. See it starting to boil right there? That's what you want to do. That's what you want to see. Now, actually, this will cook down. I mean, it will reduce pretty fast. It usually takes about 5, 6, 7 minutes. And when you pour this over either a steak or your fish, this is so good. Especially with that balsamic vinegar in there. Now, I'll tell you another trick that's, I don't do this all the time, but you can add some sugar to that like I'm doing right now, and that will actually help to caramelize your onions. Whew, that smells so good. I just can't wait to eat. Alright, let's let this cook down. We'll check on our beans. Now, when your sauce is just about done, it's been going about 4 minutes. Hit it with just a little pepper, a little salt, and once it's almost done, put that butter in there. And that butter will just kind of help give it a sheen that's real pretty, and gives it some little extra flavor. Look at that sauce. Man, ain't that pretty. It's almost cooked down. Not quite there yet. It's a little bit too watery. But that butter will help it cook down. Man, look at that. Alright, that's the kind of consistency you're looking for right there. It's almost thickened to the point that we want, so we can pour over this fish. Okay, our green beans are out of the oven. I'm going to hit it with a little olive oil, pinch of salt, pinch of pepper. Take our Parmesan Reggiano cheese while they're still hot, just out of the oven. Give them a dusting of that. And I like to put a little red pepper flakes on mine. Just give it just a little pop. Give it a mix. Look at that. Ain't that pretty? It smells so good too. Alright. A little dusting of parsley. Alright, now I say we plate up this salmon. Okay. Look at that salmon. Ain't that pretty? Now, what we'll do is we're going to give this salmon just a little bit of lemon zest. Take your lemon, not much, just like that. Place those 2 pieces of lemon on there like that. Get these green beans, these garlic Parmesan green beans. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh my goodness gracious sakes alive. That's so pretty. It smells so good. You get that Parmesan on there. Alright. I say it's almost time to eat. Dust it with a little parsley. And there you go. Lemon crusted salmon with a red wine balsamic sauce and some garlic Parmesan green beans. Whew! I wish y'all was here to eat it with me. Alright. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate you stopping in. I hope you give this a try. It's really good. I'm going to eat, drink some beer, and watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. And don't forget, do something nice for somebody, especially people less, fortunate than you. It really make you feel good, and it just might make their day. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.